The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.
The Sector Economy and Economic Policy Committee discussed the legal initiative on the gradual increase of the fees for the construction permit introduced by the chair of the committee. According to the member of the parliament, Gov't, the fees shall increase from 4 GLR to 10 GLR, and for construction of the industrial facility in the resort zone from 5 to 11 GLR. The increase shall not apply to the constructions of individual houses. To prevent the unplanned extra expenses for the taxpayers, the fees will be increased gradually, namely it will become 6 GLR from January 1, 2023, while from January 1, 2025 it will reach 11 GLR. The Georgian government on Monday held a meeting led by Prime Minister Larization that discussed a range of topics including national regulations for business trip expenses. The government administration said the meeting had come as an increase of daily norm of business trips expenses from the current 15 GLR to 30 GLR. Norms for daily expenses for business trips outside the country and rental of living space have been determined in context for each country, taking into account the current reality. Both the public and the private sectors will be guided by the updated norms. Georgiy, the Deputy Minister of Finance, declares that the state budget will receive 350 million GLR from value-added tax this year due to the high inflation in the country. According to the regional budget for 2022, the government planned to collect 5.4 billion GLR from value-added tax this year. However, according to the revised budget, this tax plan increased 530 million GLR. As of Georgiy, inflation is the main determinant of growth. Profit and excise taxes currently have no impact on inflation. A tax that is affected by inflation is the value-added tax. VAT increases by over 530 million GLR, and the share of inflation is approximately 350 million GLR, said Deputy Minister of Finance Georgiy. The European Union-funded labour market studies have revealed that one of the main barriers for both employers and job seekers is the low qualification of job seekers, which is often accompanied by insufficient work experience, improper assessment of their knowledge and skills, as well as exaggerated expectations regarding remuneration. According to the studies, one of the challenges of the labour market is the migration of labour resources from the regions. The research revealed sectors with growth potential and demanded professions. Studies have shown a shortage of technical and sectoral qualifications in the local labour market, and particularly trendy aspects of short-term programs promoting self-employment. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development has revised its economic growth forecast for Georgia, announcing expecting the Georgian economy to grow 8% this year, significantly higher than the previously predicted 3% growth. For next year, the bank's report regional economic prospect expects this trend to moderate further to 5% in line with the previous forecast. In Georgia, growth of 10.3% is expected by a pickup in tourism, which has almost reached pre-pandemic levels, and by an increase in money transfers, boosted by the temporary inflow of Russian businesses and technology sector professionals. These trends have helped to cover Georgia's trade deficit and supported the appreciation of GLR, leading to an increase in foreign reserves, the report notes. Larization ratio for total loans exceeded 53% by September 1, 2022, and decreased by 0.43 percentage point compared to August 1, 2022, the National Bank of Georgia reports. The volume of loans issued by commercial banks in August 2022 increased by 1.1 billion GLR compared to the previous month and constituted 43.21 billion by September 1, 2022. Babuna Lejava, Vice Governor of the National Bank of Georgia, expects that remittances from Russia will decrease and return to historical level. We predict this volume of remittances should decrease over time and return to the historical rate, although it's difficult to determine how much time it will take, supposedly more than a year. As for the immigrants who enter Georgia now, their entry is also recorded in tourist statistics. As of the studies, a large part of migrants say that they see the possibility of staying in Georgia for half a year or a year. It all depends on the geopolitical situation. We can't say for sure that a major part of this flow is temporarily, although a small part may stay in the country for a longer time, Lejava said. Sunflower oil imports in the country were almost halved in January-August of this year. If Georgia bought 23 tons of oil and paid $34.1 million USD in 8 months of last year, this year the volume of sunflower oil imports was over 30 tons and the value amounted to $24.4 million USD. Official statistics show that traditionally Russia remains the main import market of sunflower oil for Georgia. During this period, the oil imports from Russia were halved. Despite the war, Ukraine was also included in the top 3 importing countries in January-August. Top 5 oil importing countries are as follows: Russia, Azerbaijan, Ukraine, Turkey, Kazakhstan. In this period, small amount of sunflower oil were imported from Armenia, Italy, Germany, Belarus and France.
The Checkpoint is presented by GM Pharma, the first international multinational pharmaceutical company in Georgia. GM Pharma, to serve those who need it most.